I'm not one of them mainstream cunts, I'm that one full of pain and love.
Do you think that masculine and feminine roles play an important part in relationships?
Yes, I think so. Because sometimes men should be men and women should be like it depends. It depends on the relationship. It depends. But I think that sometimes women should take the part of the women, you know.
I don't think it's important because sometimes girls can be strong when men weak.
Depends on the person, I guess. Like depends on what you want in your relationship.
Yes, I do. I do. It's a nuanced question. Like it needs a nuanced answer. I do think that males think a certain way, females think a certain way, or we have certain predispositions or certain. We just, for example, women are more sensitive, generally speaking. Men are not that sensitive, generally speaking. It doesn't mean, men can't be sensitive. And women can't be quote unquote rational. It's something you kind of like develop and cultivate. This is a very hard question.
Yes, it's very kind of like sensitive, like in say the 50s and stuff like that. We were taught to be providers and stuff like that as men, and we're taught to not share our emotions and whatnot like that. And these days, women are more independent, more working, and they're taught to not show their emotions either.
Right.
So vulnerability is a big thing in terms of I'd say modern relationships.
Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on that, Aisha?
Yeah, of course. So I kind of disagree with Hamza, and that's because I don't think it's necessarily about like women being sensitive and men not being sensitive. I think like we're socially conditioned to express our emotions as females, but men don't necessarily have that space. So I don't think it's about like sensitivities, and I don't think we should like say that women are more sensitive, because I think men can also be sensitive and can be more sensitive because they don't actually have a space or an outlet where they can fully express their emotions. Because in society, a man is not supposed to be emotional, and they're just meant to knuckle down and have their head straight or whatever. And I think
we're judged from our strength.
They're judged based on their strength, and showing emotion is seen as weakness. So I don't think we should judge it on those bases. But I definitely believe in like masculine and feminine energy, and I think that you're a combination of both. And a man is also a combination of both, but they just have more masculine energy and less feminine energy. And women have more feminine energy and less masculine energy. And now what that means is it's a spectrum, and and every individual is different as well when it comes to those energies and how they match each other.
The question is how does that translate into, or should it translate into gender roles, and how does that manifest then? That's an interesting question, which I don't know the answer to.
I think you can only experience those roles if you kind of try and step into those roles yourself. So, for example, if like my partner, wants to, be more vulnerable with me and start to express their emotions with me, and they feel safe to do that, then I should allow that to happen, and I should give space for that. And if I want to experience more masculine energy, then perhaps I can try and remove myself emotionally from a situation and look at things very rationally and try and understand how I can make sense of that in my head.
Oh, definitely, for sure. I don't know how to talk on that, but I really think they do. Like, as I've said, for me, I am an alpha female, so if I get a man who's not kind of masculine enough, I tend to overwhelm. I have overwhelmed people who are trying to coach me, and so I think those roles are important, even in terms of starting families and stuff. So
not necessarily. They're not, for some people, sure, maybe they're important. Personally, I don't think it's that important really, because masculine, feminine, we live in a society. It's really not important. Just how you present yourself. Yeah, being yourself is important.
Yeah, it's just literally how you present yourself. For me, it doesn't matter at all, because
I present myself really masculine some days and really feminine others. It like depends on like how I feel and stuff. So yeah, I wouldn't say it's that important.
No.
I don't think so. You can just. I'm not really sure how it works, but just be yourself, honestly. As long as they are comfortable, like what works out between the two of you, I think it doesn't really matter. Like, yeah.
Depends on the relationship. I personally don't. Like, one day I can be as masculine as I want, the next day I can be as feminine as I want. It doesn't really matter as long as like the person that you're with appreciates you for who you are. And like, if you want to be feminine, be feminine. If the person that you're with doesn't mind, doesn't mind. Like, and nobody should mind. Those who matter don't mind. Those who mind don't matter. Like, that's really
Yeah, I don't really think that they exist in like each gender. It's just, I guess, like physically, maybe there's like an importance in like masculinity in terms of like caretaking, like you coming to pick me up from something, like in a relationship that does really matter. But no, they don't really, like, I'm not more feminine than he is, or vice versa, you know.
Masculine and femininity go hand in hand. Everyone's going to
everyone has both. It's a combination. One's just like selected for one gender, but they.
Once again, it's like the societal structures that prove that. Like, men wouldn't have to be so masculine if toxic masculinity wasn't a thing, and then also like putting on a brave face and like me having to walk alone home, that sort of thing. If the world was a perfect place, which it isn't, like could walk home perfectly fine, and like wouldn't have to worry about anything else like that. Like, it comes with the territory of being a human on this planet. But yeah, like if you want to do what you want to do, then genuinely there's nothing stopping you. Like, fuck what other people have to really say.
No. I think that masculine and feminine roles are kind of dumb, really. You know, like, it's because they're roles that can be taken on by anybody. There's no reason for them to be gendered, you know. Personally, I'm non-binary, so what do I do, right? Like, you know, there's nothing for me to do, or there's everything for me to do. I think trying to pigeonhole them into gender is really, you know, it doesn't quite work, and it certainly shouldn't work anymore.